ears didn't ring that time.
Nah.
Welcome to the Country Hipster Podcast. My name is Paul. I am the Country Hipster. That music that you just heard was none other than the Unholy Four, Dirty Knife. Go check them out. They're out of Charlottesville, Virginia. The Unholy Four. They're on Bandcamp and Spotify and Apple Music, and they have an Instagram, and just go check out the Unholy Four. So real quick, I'm just going to say this. We've been, ooh, I farted again.
There you go.
Did you hear that?
No.
Did you guys hear that? Okay. Nobody heard it. So we've been,
Drinking.
We've been drinking. This is a back-to-back episode. As you see, I have the same shirt on. Adam has changed his costume in the sense that he's put his hat on backwards.
I'm more urban.
By the way, my co-host and brother Adam, the country sellout, you fucking sold me out earlier when I came upstairs with the one bowl and I got Katie's beer. So my wife Katie. So before we recorded, this is a couple hours ago. Like I said, we were doing back-to-back episodes. If you watched our Blonde on Blonde episode, you will know that we said, hey, we're going to do back-to-back episodes so we can get a little bit ahead, because Adam has a shitty work schedule this week and I have a shitty playing schedule, so we're trying to get a little bit ahead. So it is once again Friday night, September the 15th, and we already did an episode, so we've been drinking for a little while. I'm feeling pretty good. I don't know, how are you feeling?
I'm good.
You're good.
Yeah,
you're good. So
my level of drunkenness goes in headaches.
okay.
So
really?
Yeah, it's very, very annoying. So I get a headache, and then the headache goes away, and it's because I'm buzzed. And then I start to get another headache.
Okay.
And then the headache goes away, and I'm drunk.
Oh, okay.
So when I showed up here tonight, I had my pre-buzz headache going.
Okay.
I actually even took 800 milligrams ibuprofen before we recorded the Blonde on Blonde episode. So I'm good now. I haven't gotten my pre-drunk headache, so I'm still in my buzz phase.
All right, well, let's work on that, because we do have some beers here. But at any rate, so what I'm gonna say is that so before we even filmed, my wife asked me, my beautiful wife, I came home and she's like, oh, grab me a beer, because when I went out and bought beers and bought this fucking mega can of Oktoberfest, as well as the beer we're about to drink, which is a Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest Fest beer, which I'm actually very excited to try here. It's a 6% ABV. I generally like Sierra Nevada beers, so that's pretty cool. So she was like, we were doing some other stuff, and like this, that, and the other thing, and I had the baby, and she had the baby, and then Adam was holding the baby, and she's like, oh, can you get me a beer from downstairs? So I ran downstairs, and I was like kind of like cleaning up some stuff and setting things up. And the other night when I was in here, I've
had this before.
Okay, cool.
So has friend of the podcast, Bob.
There you go, Bob Hurst. Yes, from Bogside Rogues, who I will be seeing, I'm sure, soon. We got to make our hot dog water and all that, and we'll probably cross paths over Irish Weekend. But now Irish Weekend is technically in the past.
Correct.
I'm going to tell you, it was great. It was great Irish Weekend. We played like 3 great sets by the Birmingham Six. I don't know that we're going to play 3 great sets, but
they got a major record deal from the.
No. But I will say that Irish Weekend was excellent. That's how I'm going with it, even though we're still technically not at Irish Weekend yet. But at any rate, so Adam, when I came upstairs with just like an empty bowl that was down here, because like when I was grading records the other night, I had some like chocolate covered almonds, and I was like munching on them while I was doing my like my grading and whatnot.
That sounds wonderful.
And like Katie's like, did you get my beer? I was like, I'm getting there. And I was like, yeah, because it's not like you didn't have a fucking extra hand. You know what I mean? Like you got a whole fucking just a bowl in your hand. I'm like, motherfucker, selling me out. My wife, you're supposed to be like, dude, you should have been like, oh well, he can't drop the bowl and break it because that would be bad. No, you're just like, yeah, because you didn't have an extra hand. I'm like, fuck you motherfucker.
I have your hippo.
Thank you for my hippo. I'll take my fucking hippo. So anyway, that is why you are the country sellout, because you sold me out.
That's fair.
And I am going to let's open up these Oktoberfest. So we still have
a third?
A third. I'd say probably a third of this this Hofbrau Oktoberfest that we still need to drink. But we got a separate beer for the Oktoberfest, which is the Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest Fest beer. So we're going to try that. Adam has had it before. I don't think that I have. But like I just said a few minutes ago, I have generally enjoyed Sierra Nevada beers. And
we might be more than a third. Like we might have less than a third left.
Less than a third. Whatever.
I just looked up how many pints are in 5 liters, which this is
5 liters.
5 liters of beer, and it's only like 10.5 pints. Between the two of us, we probably had like 6 or 7.
Probably. Yeah. No. Okay. So less than a third. Either way, we're getting there. But like this can is going to stay here in the Outdoor. So it's pretty amazing. This is good. This is good.
Sierra Nevada doesn't fuck around.
They don't. So of all the Oktoberfest beers that we've had through the month of September, I still feel that the Sam Adams Oktoberfest is my favorite beer. Yeah. So you didn't get the opportunity to try the Cape May Oktoberfest, did you? No, because they didn't. Yeah.
No.
There might be one in the fridge, but I think we have enough beer here to drink.
Yeah. I think we have enough
I think we're good. Yeah. For a drinking podcast with a vinyl record problem, I think we have enough beer to drink. This is good. This is definitely good. This is drinkable, but it's not overly remarkable.
So,
does that make sense?
I feel like we get this a lot with craft breweries and IPAs.
Yes.
There's so many fucking IPAs out there. And there's so many different styles of IPAs out there. And eventually it's all the same fucking thing. It's all the same thing.
They use a lot of the same hops. They use a lot of the same malts, and
so a lot of IPAs tend to be very they're good, but it's just like
I will tell you
it's your 6th or 7th one that tastes identically like.
Yes. So here's the deal. So if I were out at a bar, right, and I was looking at their beer list, and I saw this on here, 100% I would order it.
Yeah.
Unless I saw something else that I liked a little bit more. It'd be like one of those deals where I'm like, oh, they have that? Okay, I would drink that. Because I like the Sierra Nevada brand. This beer is smooth. It's smooth. It's not overly malty.
No.
It's got a little bit of maltiness to it.
I feel like it's on the crisper side of.
It is a little crisp, yeah.
Of the Oktoberfest.
Yes. Whereas like this guy here, which is the Hofbrau. Excuse me. I don't really think this is very malty at all, but this is smooth as fuck. This is a step away from this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also straight from Germany, and it's been.
It's imported from Munich. It says it right on the can.
It's been blessed by David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
So this is actually different. Sam Adams Oktoberfest is different. Even the Cape May Oktoberfest that I had on the Random Record episode is different in the sense that it's a very light Oktoberfest. It's really much more of it's a Marzen lager, right?
Yeah.
But when you think of Marzens, you think of it being a little maltier, little sweeter, little oaty, like kind of like oats, like you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like a little barley and oat. You like you get that stronger kind of flavors in a lot of Oktoberfest, whereas the Cape May Oktoberfest is much more lagery. It's almost like just like a smooth lager that is a little darker, but this one here is just it's good. It's a standard Oktoberfest. Like if I was at a party and someone was like, "Hey man, here, drink this," I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, I'd be happy with it."
Absolutely,
it's not remarkable.
Yeah,
there's nothing that necessarily sets this aside. Does not mean it's not drinkable. Some things are just like, hey man, it doesn't necessarily set the world on fire, but it's fucking good. It's like my music career. It doesn't set the world on fire, but it's good.
No.
You know what I mean? So
it's like takeout pizza places.
Yes. You have some that are like fucking superb, and that's the ones you go with all the time.
And then there's a lot of them where it's just like, okay.
It's pizza.
It's pizza. Pizza's pizza.
This is pizza.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right. Yes. I see. Yeah. I see what you. Yes. There is a such thing as bad pizza, though.
I don't believe so.
No, there is. I've had bad pizza.
From where?
One of the places was in Rittenhouse Square.
Okay.
Right on 20th Street. Cannot remember the name of it, and I wouldn't want to disparage them anyway. But their pizza, I remember when I was working in the movie industry, we were actually located in the Rittenhouse Hotel. Yeah. Directly in Rittenhouse Square, and like I remember one of my first days, I'm like, oh, let me fucking walk around and see what I can grab for lunch. And I walked into this pizza place and I got a slice, and it was one of the worst. It was horrible. I even went back and like tried it again, and it was fucking horrible. It was like right there on 20th Street. I assume they're still in business because they seem to do business, but I was just like, oh god, this is horrible. If you went around to the place on Chestnut Street between 19th and 20th, which I can't, I fucking wish I remember what the place was called, but especially since it was like a smaller like family, like you knew everybody who worked there was fucking
that's their second cousin, and
exactly their pizza was fucking amazing. Yeah, their stuff was great. If you got a whole pie or you got a slice, and like I went in there enough that like I got to know them like a little bit, like to the point where they recognized my face, I recognized their face. They knew to kind of knew what I was getting. Their pizza was fucking amazing. It was like a thin crust, but not too thin. It was like the perfect, like, you know what I mean? Like I do like a thin crust, but this was like it wasn't a thick crust, but it was like kind of like a medium crust, and like just all their stuff you got, it was just good, and they would heat it up, and the price was good. That place was way better than the place over on 20th Street. The 20th Street, I swear to God, it was bad pizza, and that's not the only bad pizza I've had. That's just the only one I can think of off the hand. So there is a such thing as bad pizza.
You just talked about how they became fairly familiar with like your face and everything like that.
I'm gonna switch my hat because this is getting itchy. Yeah. There's the anal vice.
Anal vice, as Kristen, our guest on NXS and the Cure episode, is all about an anal vice. Apparently, it's your favorite thing.
Yes.
Usually, you got to pay extra for that.
Yeah, I know, but apparently you don't.
It's always been a dream of mine where I could walk into a bar, very much like Cheers. I don't watch Cheers, but I want that Cheers experience where I walk into a bar and they go, "Hey," and they have my beer ready for me by the time I sit down on my regular stool.
Okay.
So there was a pizza place that I lived around the corner from, and it was a 2-minute drive from my parking space to the pizza place.
To the beer.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I would always order for pickup because it was always faster.
Okay.
So I would walk in, and the second I would open the door, the girl behind the counter would see me, grab my order off the counter, off the top of the oven, and start ringing me up. And that was, that's the dream. There was a Wawa that I worked up the street from, and I would go in, and there was this girl who I'm pretty sure was flirting with me. I think she wanted to fuck. But the one time I walked in, and she was like, "Anything else?" And I took out my pack of cigarettes from my pocket, and I was like, "Let me get a pack of green L&M shorts." So she gets me my cigarettes, and then like I go in like 2 days later or something like that, and she's like, "Oh, do you need cigarettes?" And I realized that I just accidentally bought more packs of cigarettes that I could smoke in the time that's since the last time I saw her. So I was like, "Oh no, I don't need any today." And she's like, "All right." So then after that, every time I went in, I would go in and she would say, "Are we smoking today?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we're smoking today." And she could never remember if I smoked shorts or hundreds, but she knew my brand, right. That I smoked menthol. Right.
So I got two stories.
And I told her, I was like, "That's the dream." She's like, "I always forget if it." I'm like, "Hey, you remember the brand?" I'm like, "That's the fucking dream right there." I'm like, "So don't even fucking worry about it."
I got two stories like that. So I also have a Wawa story. I'm gonna tell you the Wawa story first. So the Wawa story was there was this Wawa in Somerton that it's now like some, how like when they sell off Wawas because they can't make up gas stations. Yeah, which they actually don't sell them off. They just close the Wawa. Wawa leases the land.
Yeah.
They don't actually buy the land.
One of my favorite things in the world is buildings that very obviously used to be Wawas but are no longer Wawas.
Right. So this one was on the corner of Philmont and Boston Avenue in Somerton.
And now it's
some weird market.
Yeah.
You know, a mods market or something.
They always.
It looks cool. It looks actually cool as fuck.
It's either a weird corner store market or a nursery.
Right.
In my experience.
Something like that. So
nursery, a flower nursery, not a nursery like a.
Yeah. But when it was a Wawa, I used to go in there all the time, right? Like every fucking morning. Like I would drop the kids off at school and then I'd go to that Wawa or like whatever. I would just go to that Wawa all the time. But especially in the morning, I got to know the morning people. Yeah. Right. So at one point, I walk in there on a morning in June, June 4th, as to be exact. And I go and I buy some stuff and I bring it up to the counter with my coffee and my tasty cake and like my sizzly. And so the woman rings me up and I go to pay and I pay and she says, "Oh, by the way, happy birthday," and hands me a fucking Wawa gift card.
That's fucking awesome.
So I'm like, oh my God, like what the fuck? So that's apparently how much I was going into that Wawa and I got to know those people that they knew it was my birthday.
That's fucking amazing.
And they all chipped in and like bought me a Wawa gift card.
They're like, he's keeping us in business. Let's fucking.
Exactly. So that's my Wawa story. Now my other story with that is when my my first wife was pregnant, right? So like I was like 19 years old.
Yeah.
Right. I lived on Tarsal Avenue in Wissinoming, and directly across the street, like diagonal from my house on Tarsal Avenue, was a pizza shop. Right, and the pizza shop was up until like 11:30 or midnight or whatever, whatever they were open till. So my ex-wife, with our first child, her cravings were cheese fries.
Yeah, and
it was like every night at like between 10:30 and 11, she wanted fucking cheese fries with like whiz, like just fries with whiz on them, right? So I started, like, you know, I'd be like, "Oh, you want cheese fries? Cool." So I would call over. I'd be like, "Hey, I need cheese fries." And I would order the cheese fries to the point where they would actually, before I even called, would start dropping the cheese fries in the deep fryer, and then eventually I would call and I'd be like, "All right, cool," and I would come over.
That's an extra level of what I'm talking about.
So here is where it all comes together. This is the crazy part about it. The person on the phone who would take my order for the cheese fries ended up being our brother Brian's wife, Kelly.
Really?
Yes.
No shit. Wait,
yes.
Which Kelly?
The one he actually married. Kelly Moore, yes.
Are they married?
No, he didn't marry Kelly Farrell. No,
that's right,
they just lived together. Yeah, so ironically enough, Brian, let's give it up for Brian. There you go. So for that whole time my ex-wife was pregnant, I'm calling up at that, you know, or I'm not calling up, but Kelly, who eventually became our sister-in-law and mother to some of our nieces and nephews, was fucking dropping my ex-wife's cheese fries.
That's fucking funny.
Her fucking cravings. And so you want to talk about living a dream, like how you know how much more.
That's fucking amazing.
But real quick, this fucking country sellout here, fuck you for selling me out there. But it was pretty funny. My wife was all good about it. No, she just laughed. My wife's pretty awesome.
She's pretty good.
She is pretty good.
She's a keeper.
She's a keeper. I'll keep her around for a little while. But I have some business to get to. Saturday, which is like, all right, so we're going ahead. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 2 days from today when you're listening to this, if you are listening to it in real time, I will be playing with the Birmingham Six at the Hamilton Irish Festival at the Hamilton AOH on Cruiser Road in Hamilton, New Jersey. The other band that is on the stage with us is the Natterjacks, which are good friends of ours, and sometimes their fiddle player will sit in with us and play with the Birmingham Six. But so it's open to the public. I think there is a cover. A lot of vendors. we are actually headlining the festival this year, which is kind of exciting. Yeah. We've been doing like the early sets the last few years, but they were like, oh, we want you guys to close it out. I'm like, oh, fuck it. Yeah, why not? Let's do it. Yeah. So if you have nothing to do on Saturday, September 30th, rain date is October 1st, which is the next day. But hopefully there will be no rain. Come see the Birmingham Six at the Hamilton Irish Festival and the Birmingham Six. That loud music at the end of our podcast is the Birmingham Six doing Move On. That is definitely something we play in every single fucking set. It's our hit song. So what are we gonna do?
Are you gonna be full band for that?
As far as I know, we are.
Cool.
So yeah. So.
And I feel like I've asked that a few times, and I only asked that because your guitar.
It's a very fair question.
Your guitar player's got like a big boy job.
My guitar player is a big boy job. My fiddle player is starting a big boy job.
Yeah.
He is a professional musician. I wish I could get into more detail at this point, but I promised him I would not publicly say anything about it until it became completely official. Looks like sometime in late October, early November, it will be completely official. So I will make that announcement eventually. But our fiddle player, Birmingham Six is losing Joe Arnold.
Oh,
we know that we are losing our fiddle player. I cannot tell you why we are losing our fiddle player, but I will tell you that
he's becoming the president of music.
He is becoming the president of music. But I will tell you, when he came to me and told me about this opportunity that he had back, this was last April that he told me about this opportunity. I actually looked at him and said, you are taking this, right? Because if you don't, I will kick you in the dick right now.
Yeah.
And you will take this.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, no, I'm taking it. So I'm like, thank God. So, my fiddle player is moving on to bigger and better things. He's moving on. And I'm very excited for him. And, hopefully in about another month or so, I will be able to tell you what he's doing. It's happening for him. It's just, I think he's a little superstitious about it. Like, don't fucking say anything until I know it's happening. So, So that's that. So this actually that festival on 9/30, I think he's playing with us that day. But that actually could be the last final show he plays with us. So I thought in June that was going to be the last show he plays with us, but it could be the 30th of September. So it is a good time to go see the Birmingham Six. September and March, man. We're calling this our 6-month reunion tour because every 6 months seems to be when we play now. So there you go. But at any rate, we've talked for about 22 minutes, 3 minutes here.
Sorry, Tom.
Sorry, fuck Tom.
Fuck you, Tom. Fuck you.
But we are here actually to talk about Bright Eyes Digital Ash in a digital urn. You have 2 in a row. This is episode 27. Excuse me, Adam hit me with the fucking factoids of this album.
I want to refer to having 2 in a row as a half trick.
Half trick? All right, I like it, a half trick. You got it. Sometimes that's all you need is a half trick.
Yeah,
that's all you need.
All right, so Digital Ash and Digital Urn is the 7th studio album released by Bright Eyes, which is funny because this album was released on January 25th, 2005. Which, interesting enough, was the same day that Bright Eyes released "I'm Wide Awake It's Morning,"
which is a good album.
Amazing album. Which they consider the 6th album. I was curious about that. I was like, did you release one in the morning and one in the afternoon? And like that's
we did talk about it on that. So if you look,
we've covered this the sibling album.
Yes.
To this.
So. This is I didn't say it. So this album here, because we didn't put it, we might put it as some bonus content. So
this is the only album that Paul and I. This is the only artists that Paul and I both have on our 25.
Yes. So this is it is kind of funny that like. It is because we did talk about it in the Bright Eyes episode, which is if you look on it, it's episode 1, but technically it's episode 2 of
Yeah.
the season because I renumbered it. Just Jack was numbering it correctly. I was not. Whatever. But like this album was released on the same day. I think they recorded it all around the same time. They couldn't be more different albums if you wanted them to be. Like they
I say very
really
much so. Like
albums.
there's I forget what the fucking both of the Taylor Swift albums that she kind of released secretly very close to each other.
Folklore and Evermore.
Evermore.
Yes.
Evermore is very much. Evermore is the second one, right?
Evermore is the second one. Yes.
Evermore is very, very much the B-sides to Folklore.
Yes.
Digital Ash is not the B-sides to Wide Awake Gets Morning.
No, they're very
because
different.
Wide Awake Gets Morning is very acoustic singer-songwriter kind of driven, and this is very much not just electric as in guitar and
it's different. It is vastly different. There is a direct line. If you look at if you want to compare those albums, if you take Folklore and Evermore, you can take a direct line and put it to from Folklore to Evermore. If you take I'm Wide Awake It's Morning and Digital Ash for Digital Urn, there is no direct line there.
Yeah.
There really isn't.
No.
There is no direct line. They're
it's
two completely different albums that they recorded at the same time and made like two different releases on two full-length releases on it.
Yeah. Which I always thought was interesting that like they released the two at the same time.
Well, I mean, I kind of get it because like when you look at
one of my notes just says Bright Eyes.
Oh, whatever. when you look at I'm Wide Awake It's Morning, it is a folky acoustic album.
Yeah.
Right. So it actually does kind of make sense that they would release them at the same time because they are so different. You have they're just like, I honestly think this is the last time, unless you have something in your factoids, this is the last time we should actually mention them in the same breath because one of these albums is worthy of talking about and one of them is not.
In your opinion?
In my opinion. In like, you know, the opinion of everybody who has a real opinion. But anyway, go
on. So this album peaked at 15 on the US charts and 43 on the UK charts. Year after it was released, it had sold 268 copies. And I took very shitty notes on this one, for some reason.
So did I.
But like we mentioned, if you guys listen to the Blonde on Blonde episode, the European gold platinum nonsense is different than what we have in the States.
It is much different than yeah.
But it went gold in Europe. It was listed as number. It peaked at number 3 on the U.S. like independent, like indie record thing. So it's not a. You probably gonna talk a lot of shit on it in the upcoming future, but it's not a bad album. Easy Lucky Free was one of the big singles off of this, and Lua was the big single off of the album I'm Wide Awake It's Morning.
Okay.
Released at the same time in 2004, a little bit before the album, the two albums were released. Those two songs took the number 1 and 2 spots on the Billboard's Hot Singles list in 2004. So they both, like, you're talking shit and you're saying how I'm Wide Awake This Morning is the better album. They both were up there.
What year was it again?
2004.
What the hell was going on in 2004? Like, it's like taking like the worst year of music and being like, well, this is the best of the worst. Like,
I was getting girls pregnant in 2004.
Were you? Was I?
Yeah, I was getting girls pregnant.
No, I wasn't. I
was getting girls pregnant in 2004.
Was I? No, I was done getting girls pregnant in 2004. Yeah.
Also, I just wanted to mention friend of the podcast, Jimmy Tamborella. Excuse me.
Who the fuck is that?
Jimmy Tamborella is the
How's he a friend of the podcast?
He's the boop 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 part of Postal Service.
That makes total fucking sense because this fucking album reminded me of that, and I was very on the fence about. So here's
the friend of the podcast, Jimmy Tamborella, not only has credits on one track, which is track number 5 on the album, "Take It Easy, Love Nothing." I just thought it was interesting that he was involved.
Yeah, so here's the thing with that. Like,
here's the fucking thing.
So like, Postal Service, I was very much on the fence for.
Yeah,
because I like Death Cab for Cutie, and I like what they do. I like their sound. I like overall their general stuff. I don't like.
I know.
I don't like the Postal Service,
and I feel like Postal Service.
But like that totally makes sense with this fucking album.
I know. I know you are not a fan of Blink-182.
No.
You're most likely not a fan of the band Angels and Airwaves.
No.
Exactly.
I will say that, like, if you slap me in the face with one of their songs, I wouldn't know it was them. But like, probably not.
Angels and Airwaves was a side project of Tom DeLonge from Blink-182.
Oh yeah.
And before their first album came out, he was basically like hyping this album up as if like this album's gonna change music for fucking forever. I feel like you had, and so the hype that he was putting behind this album, that it could never fucking live up to, which I feel like is the same way I feel about Mad Elf. All my friends were like, "This is the greatest fucking beer ever made." No, Mad Elf's not that fucking good.
It's not that good
because it couldn't live up to the hype that my friends put on it.
Yes,
I feel like Postal Service couldn't live up to the hype that people have put on it for you.
No, because it could have. It just wasn't that good. I didn't hate the Postal Service album. I really didn't. I didn't hate it. I just didn't really like it. It was really one of those things I was on the fence on. Probably more to that comparison though, which proves like my point that like I don't think you're right there, is Vampire Weekend. Okay. So I've heard tons of stuff about Vampire Weekend and how I would like Vampire Weekend. And the first time I heard Vampire Weekend, I was like, I don't know about this. Mm-hmm. Second time I heard that album, the album that we did, I was like, okay, all right, I think I like this. Third time I heard it, I'm like, I'm fucking in.
Yeah, like
so that did hold up. Like ultimately, it did take a few times. And honestly, if we weren't doing this podcast, I don't know that I would have listened to it 3 times.
No.
But because we are doing it, I did listen to it 3 times. And when I heard it the third time, that's when it clicked for me. That was like, no, this is a good fucking album. This is really a good album. So I think that is more accurate to that. Whereas like, yeah, other things like that. No, it doesn't add up. Yeah. Like Postal Service, it just doesn't add up despite the hype. And I listened to that album so many times wanting to like it because of the hype.
Yeah,
I went into the movie The Big Lebowski wanting to like it because of everybody has said, Paul, you will like this fucking movie, and I didn't like the movie. It was just like, eh. No. Another movie, though, that someone told me you'll fucking love this movie, is Inglourious Bastards. I didn't see it. I didn't get to see it in theaters. No. And they're like, Paul, this is right for you. Same thing with Reservoir Dogs. Yeah. This movie's right for you. And I saw them and I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Boondock Saints. That's another one. Where someone's like, dude, you never saw Boondock Saints? I'm like, no, I don't know what this is. Oh no, this movie's for you. This is the movie for you. I'm like, all right, fool. Fucking let's watch it. Fucking love Boondock Saints.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So sometimes people are right. Sometimes people are right. Postal Service, I don't think they're right.
I just remembered real quick before we move past it, I forgot in the factoids, album was released on Saddle Creek, which is owned. I don't know if he's the sole owner, but he's very Connor Oberst of Bright Eyes, who is Bright Eyes.
Yes, who is Bright Eyes.
That's his record label.
Yes.
Released on Saddle Creek and then listed as producer as per Wikipedia was Bright Eyes. So, yeah, I had this conversation with our other brother Zach, who you guys might remember is falling asleep on the Taking Back Sunday episode.
He might be a alcoholic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a hard time distinguishing which is my favorite of the two Bright Eyes albums.
I don't. You actually talked about this before. I have no problem whatsoever.
There's no.
Yes, there's no.
I'm not going to ask Paul this time around first what his opinion is because I know what his opinion is. Yes. So we'll just wait.
Can I just say it real quick because I have my note here.
Go ahead.
I hate this album.
Yeah.
But anyway, go on.
I have a hard time distinguishing which I prefer. Digital Ash in a Digital Urn or I'm Wide Awake It's Morning.
I don't know how you have trouble.
I will say my favorite Bright Eyes song is on this album.
So all right, so here's the thing though.
I think I'll go even so far as to narrow it down even further. I think my favorite Bright Eyes line is on this album.
Okay, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You can have that. Like there was even all right, so take that back to Taking Back Sunday, that episode. I will tell you that one of the greatest fucking emo verses of all time came from that album. Yeah. But that's a shit album.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like so I didn't call it a shit album at that time.
Mm-hmm. If I remember, you gave it your
yeah, exactly. And it's still an which is kind of like a shit album for something that's supposed to be so fucking remarkable, especially for an album that has such a great fucking line in it.
Mm-hmm.
That album should be better. That album is a shower, not a grower. Like the first song on that album is the best, and everything else is just this is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, cool. You know, but like so you can have your favorite song on this album.
Mm-hmm.
But the album's still shit. It's still fucking crap. It's still fucking not good.
I'm pretty sure I haven't listened to that episode in a while. Honestly, going back, the only episode that I've really like listened to multiple times is the Smiths episode with Frank.
Oh, I actually haven't listened to that again.
Yeah.
I only listen to our episodes like the one time, and then what I mean. Like,
usually I do too.
Yeah.
But I've listened to the.
I'm not as vain as you, apparently.
Yeah, I've listened to
which is pretty amazing because I'm pretty vain.
Yeah. I've listened to.
You probably think this song is about.
You probably think this song is about you. I've listened to that Smiths episode a couple times.
Okay. I got really drunk during that.
No.
Yeah, so that might be why I didn't, because I know I got drunk during that, and I know I got really drunk during the Fall from Grace of God.
Yeah.
I'm a little drunk right now. I might be pretty drunk by the end of this because we have
about a third.
We have about a third of this beer to finish because we're doing back-to-back episodes, and my baby is now in a different room, and I have not gotten a text from my wife saying we're too loud. So, but also, I think she's going to give us a little leadway right now. Number one, she doesn't have to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Number two, our dad just
died. Yeah, probably.
So my wife might give us a little bit of a leadway in the sense of like how loud and how drunk we get right now.
Which is understandable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm sure I talked about it in the Wide Awake It's Morning episode. I discovered Bright Eyes when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
A girl that I was dating kind of turned me on to them. And like in retrospect, like I listened to Wide Awake It's Morning. I listened to Digital Ash and Digital Urn.
Okay.
But aside from those two albums, I don't listen to entirety of other Bright Eyes albums.
So here's what I will tell you. Any other Bright Eyes that I've heard, with the exception of I'm Wide Awake It's Morning, I just don't like.
Yeah.
Now, I did find a song on here that I will actually genuinely say. So when we get to my 3, I have a song that I genuinely, truly fucking like.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have 2 songs that I find palatable.
Okay.
Okay. But like I did find a song on this album that I like.
All right, that's a plus.
It's a plus, and I will say that it is above. So it is above the Say Anything album. This is a Real Boy, because on that album I found 2 songs that I could consider for my top 3.
Yeah.
And then I hated everything else. I wouldn't say that I liked those 2 songs.
Yeah.
I would consider them, but I fucking hated the rest of the fucking album.
them.
I found a song on here that I fucking like, and 2 other songs that I was like,
I'm very curious now when we get to that portion of the podcast.
Okay.
Very curious.
But like any other Bright Eye stuff, and I have tried.
Does this say 40 minutes?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
it does.
I'm sorry, Tom, because I feel like we just started talking about this album.
We're still going.
I know.
I tried. I really tried with this album.
Yeah.
And I tried to have an open mind, and I have tried with other Bright Eye stuff.
I had hope that like this listening for this episode would be like, oh, Digital Ash isn't that bad.
No, it is.
Nope.
All right. So I consider myself open-minded. I like indie rock. I like stuff that's different. I don't like stuff that is different for the sake of being different. I don't like Radiohead.
Yeah.
I can't get into other stuff by Bright Eyes. And I've tried because, and honestly, one of the reasons why I keep going back to the fucking Bright Eyes fucking, patch of shit is because I love Wide Awake It's Morning so much.
Yeah.
I love that album. I really, truly, first song and the last song on that album, I've talked about this. I could care less.
Yeah.
But those 2 songs do make a complete album. They are the sandwich of the album. It's almost like they made the sandwich with the crust of the breads. You know what I mean? The ends of the bread.
Did I ever tell you what Katai refers to as the ends of the breads?
No.
She refers to them as slut bread.
What?
Slut bread?
Slut bread.
Because everybody touches them, but nobody wants them.
Oh.
Yeah. I was like, that's fucking, I'm keeping that.
You know what? I gotta give that. I gotta give that up to Katai. As much as I give shit to her for not knowing that Red Robin was a real place, I'm gonna give Katai a cheers for slut bread. Thank you, Katai, slut bread. That I like that. I like. Yeah. But okay. So you have the first song and the last song. They are definitely slut bread, but they make the loaf.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because everything in between that is fucking amazing. And it really honestly truly is because of that album. And because I like to think of myself as open-minded, and I do like indie rock in general, that I want to go back and I want to like Bright Eyes. I really do. I honestly truly want to like.
There's been times in the past where I should like this shit, but I don't.
Even this album, I'm like, oh god, like. As much as I know that I don't like other Bright Eyes stuff, I went into this album with an open mind. Even like someone who I used to work with who, this is great. So there's this guy I work with. At this point, he's like in his 60s, right? And I will say that if I had continued at my last job, I know that I actually would have been the heir apparent to this person's position. This person was the director of operations of the job, right? So he came in, and the board of directors brought him in, and he immediately jumped ahead of me. I was totally okay with it. I'm not like fuck you. Why I've been here for X amount of years. Why are you bringing this guy who's never been here in? No, I'm not that guy. I could fucking care less. I knew at my last job what I was. I knew what I was good at, right? They brought this guy in. It was really weird. It was like one of those things where like not only did the president of the company talk to me, like when they made him my boss, the director of operations sat down and talked to me separately. The fucking CEO of the company, who like was like very hands off, but like was like overseeing all the operations, he even talked to me about like, well, we don't want to step on your toes. We know you've been doing a lot. I was like, dude, I really don't fucking care. Like, because I'm not that guy. I like, listen, I know that I know my limitations. I know what I'm doing. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
And I really didn't. And me and this guy, we got along really fucking well.
Yeah.
One of the coolest things about this guy and his wife, like I said, he's in his 60s, right? And he's my boss, or he was my boss, and he and his wife will just randomly look up concerts and will just go to them. Yeah. They won't know the band. They won't know anything about them. They'll just go to them.
That's a leap.
It is, yeah. And it's great. So one of the things they did, they had planned a trip to Nashville. And while they were down there, their plan every night in Nashville was to go to a different concert every night in Nashville. Mm-hmm. Well, one of those nights they were in Nashville, Bright Eyes was playing in Nashville.
Okay.
They bought tickets to see Bright Eyes. He didn't know a fucking song about Bright Eyes. Didn't know anything about Bright Eyes. He turned to me and said, "Hey, did you ever hear this band called Bright Eyes? I'm going to see them when I go to Nashville in a couple months." And I'm like, "You're going to see Bright Eyes?" I'm like, "Oh my God, they have one good fucking album." I'm like, after that, it's all shit. I'm like, "So, like, you're really going?" He's like, "Yeah, we're going." I'm like, "Fucking good for you." He went to the concert, enjoyed the fuck out of it. Sent me videos of and he sent me videos because he didn't know the songs per album. Yeah. Sent me videos of other songs that he did that were not on Wide Awake It's Morning. Yeah. It actually sounded phenomenal. It really did. Like live, it was fucking phenomenal. And I still have those videos somewhere. But it was really they were really fucking good. But like it's still shit. Like you know what I mean? And like I understand. I can't. I want to like Bright Eyes. I really do. I want to like everything else by Bright Eyes. But it's just horrible. I just can't fucking get into it, man. Yeah. It's just bad.
I get it.
It's bad.
It's okay.
No.
It's all right, man.
I want to like it. Yeah. I can't do it.
I love this album. And I have a hard time distinguishing which one I prefer more, Digital Ash or Wide Awake. With
figuring out which one's better.
Like I said, my favorite Bright Eyes song is on this album.
Okay. I'm assuming he's on your top 3?
Yes.
Okay.
My favorite Bright Eyes lyric is on this album.
Okay. So I will say I didn't get necessarily into specific lyrics because like we are filming a double episode here. This is Friday night. We just filmed the Blonde on Blonde episode. Granted, I don't necessarily give myself a whole lot of time to listen to whatever the next episode is because like not yet. Let it go.
I got you.
We might have to tip this. Nah, I guess not. So I will listen to the we'll film generally on Monday night. I don't necessarily start listening to the next album until Wednesday, Thursday. I give myself a couple days.
Depending on how excited I am, like there's definitely been times where we've drawn an album and I drive home that night and listen to that album.
The 6-week stretch that I had, it was a very easy stretch for me as far as listening because I already kind of knew what, so this one here, like I will say this, that I do feel bad in the sense that now granted, I say this, I've given this easily
I'm sure
6 listens.
Yeah.
At least 6 listens since like I drew this at the end of the Paul Simon episode on Monday night. I really did. I have given this at least 6 listens. I do try to give like it truly honest. So excuse me. So I am interested in regards to your favorite lyric, but like I will say that I did not get as deep into this is my favorite lyric of the album. Mm-hmm. Like unlike the Taking Back Sunday or like even other things like that was even part of like the Blonde on Blonde that like we just talked about. Like I got into some of those lyrics, man, because like it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's good shit. But this one I will not say I got into lyrics as deeply, but like, man,
I knew you wouldn't. Don't worry about it.
I had a tough time with this. I did not have as tough a time as I did with the Say Anything. Yeah. Or even like harkening back to our pilot episode where I was listening to the wrong Slayer album. Yeah. I had a really tough time with that. I was like, fuck, is this how this whole podcast is going to go? Yeah. But it didn't, and that's fine. But, there's
So yeah, so I like this album a lot.
Man, the fucking 4-minute intro, because that's
Oh
what
no
that
no
first song
oh
is.
no no
That's
no
fucking stupid.
But
It's a real song. I will say it's a real song.
Okay, because I was saying when I first played this album for this episode, I said the first thing I said to myself is, I'm not counting this as a real song. So that first track, that what is it?
It's whatever the fuck it's called.
Time.
It's fucking horrible.
I forget. Whatever it's fucking called. I do not consider that my least favorite track.
I do consider, because of the length. Now, I think
Time Code.
Time Code. If you're going to have an intro, the longest an intro can be is, and I will say that
keep in mind you had the Cure Disintegration on your fucking list
that led to an incomplete song. So you had no. So that's the thing. Plain Song, the first song on Plain Song, yes, it's a 4 or 5 minute song, and you could say that it had 70% intro, but it led to an actual song. Okay.
Time Code does not.
It does. It does. That it. In my opinion, if we're gonna disclude something because of an intro, the max length it can be is the brand new Deja Entu intro, which is 1 minute and 36 seconds.
Okay.
That is the max length of an intro.
Okay.
I would even go as far as 2 minutes, but ultimately it should only be 1 minute 36 seconds. This is a 4 minute song. It is not an intro. Yeah. You have about 2.5 minutes of bullshit.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm like, is my fucking thing working?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No. So you have about 2 to 3 minutes of bullshit, and then you have 1.5 minutes of a song. But the whole thing in general is about 4 minutes long. That is a song. So I am not discluding that.
I did.
No.
Which if wasn't, yeah, absolutely. That Time Code would be the fucking bottom of the fucking list.
Exactly. Like you even look at, like, we disqualified Worms because it's a minute and 10 seconds.
It's Worms
or whatever it is. Like, that's
the
not
Worms
a real song.
crawl and the Worms
We're
crawl.
We're not counting that as a real song. You know what I mean? We're not counting that because that's the easy way. That's the easy way out.
Exactly. And that's why I didn't. That's why, I stopped including things like that as my
on this fucking Time Code, that's a song. That's a song, because ultimately it becomes a song anyway, because there are legitimate lyrics and music to them. Even in brand new's Deja Entu, even in that first song, there's not legitimate lyrics. There's not legitimate melody. There's not legitimate, like, anything in that song besides noise and 1 minute 30 intro. And I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, I realize I am now fucking defending Brand New, which I didn't like that album either. But I am now
defending Brand New, which I never wanted to do.
But I'm defending Brand New in that first track is a fucking intro. That is a true intro. This is not a fucking intro. That's a fucking song. That's a song.
Okay.
You know,
I'll give that to you.
The thing with this album is that it does a lot of stuff that is okay, and then it does something that, like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, what is this? This makes no sense whatsoever. This is just stupid.
I think we have both illustrated our views on the album. But there is a true opinion, Paul.
Wait, are we there yet?
I would assume so. We've talked about it a little bit. We're at 53 minutes. Do you want to go somewhere else besides
the fact that this album is just horrible?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I feel like that's where that's the only place you want to. That's the only place you're gonna go. So
it's really not. No, yeah, it is. Yeah, this album's, like, overall, this is just a bad album.
So just
Okay. So we're getting to the Regina fact.
Yeah.
Right. So I honestly.
Is this like Taking Back Sunday where you refuse to play for?
No, I have played this for. So I cannot. Fuck, man. So I wish that we could play this for Regina. With you there to hear her reaction.
Oh, okay.
This one. Because I honestly have a tough time fully. So, all right. So here's the deal. This is not an indifferent.
Okay.
Okay. I will say this is not an indifferent. I'm leaning towards she doesn't like it. But some of the factors of her liking it are there.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what happened with this album. So I did play. I've played this for Regina at least three times.
Uh-huh.
On our way down to Mom's house and your house today, actually I was playing it again, and I remember saying to Jack as we're getting in the car, because generally when we get into the car, so here's the deal. I'm not like, so the skipper, right? We used to get in the car with him, and I'm sure he did the same thing with you. The skipper. So when I would get in the car with the skipper would put on whatever the skipper wanted to put on, and if you liked it, so fucking what? It didn't matter. Did he? I'm assuming he did the same thing. Okay.
Fridays with Frank, Saturdays and Sundays with Sinatra.
But that's
and
the whole.
If not, Michael Crawford.
Okay, so he would do that stuff with us. Now, I have done the opposite with my children. Mm-hmm. Is that when we get into the car, and I do this with Katie too. So it's not not just my kids. It's in general. I don't really fucking care what's on the radio. Unless it's horrible. If it's horrible, I'll be like,
unless
no,
it's
you
Steel
need to
Train.
change us. Unless it's Steel Train. No, well,
like you said,
I will listen to Steel Train. But no, unless it's like horrible, I really won't care. So like in generally when I get into the car with my kids or my wife, I don't care what's on the radio.
Yeah.
I just want something on the radio.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is. You know what I mean? So usually when I get in the car with Jack, he has like a bunch of playlists that he listens to over and over again. Mm-hmm. A lot of them lately tend to be Young Gravy, which is actually pretty. Have you listened to Young Gravy?
Young Gravy
and BB No Money. I am telling you,
I have no idea what any of the words coming out of your mouth mean.
I am telling you, look up Young Gravy. Look up BB No Money. If you people out there don't know what I'm talking about, I will say
BB No Money.
Literally BB No Money sign. That's what it is. BB No Money, and then Young Gravy, UNG, YUNG, Gravy without an A, GRVY. Look up those things. If you like old school hip hop and rap that has a modern feel to it, and is for white people, ultimately, look up Young Gravy, look up BB No Money. I'm telling you, this shit is amazing. The rhymes are fucking good. Their fucking rhythms are good. Their samples are good. The shit is amazing.
It's the best description. If you like rap music and also happen to be white, Young Gravy.
No.
And BB No Money.
No. Let's talk about that for a second. How did rap music become famous? The first rap band is not the Beastie Boys. But how did rap music become mainstream? Because of white people. And I don't mean that in a like white people are superior. No, I mean that in a white people are inferior way. Because the Beastie Boys came out. Mm-hmm. Right? The Beastie Boys put out fucking License to Ill. And then all of a sudden, white people liked rap. And white people started looking into other things. Like Run DMC, Grandmaster Flash, and the fucking Furious Fewer, and fucking LL Cool J, and all of that old school fucking the Sugar Hill Gang. Fucking white people started looking at that shit because of the fucking Beastie Boys, right? And then you had like fucking Eminem. Eminem came out and was accepted, and then. Like, I mean, granted, not then, because it already had been accepted that, like, people looked at Dre, and they looked at fucking Snoop Dogg, and they looked at fucking Eazy-E.
Yeah.
But, when you look at the highest grossing and most accepted white, like the most accepted rap groups. It happens because of the fucking white people, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm going to get to that in one of the other fucking like albums on my thing, and it's not even a rap album. Unfortunately, because of this fucking like mindset that people have that only white people do this fucking music and do it right, that it becomes acceptable. That like there's so much fucking black music that is just over fucking looked. It's just overlooked. And until someone who is white, who ultimately does the same style, makes it acceptable, people don't go back and look at the people who really fucking did this shit right. It goes back to Elvis. It goes back to the fucking Rolling Stones. It goes back to like fucking the Beach Boys. Like fucking Roll Over Beethoven was written by Chuck Berry. 100% written by Chuck Berry. But Roll Over Beethoven was not accepted unless Chuck Berry gave the Beach Boys fucking writing credits. Mm-hmm. And it's bullshit. Right? So like there's a lot of that even in modern rap music. Whereas unless a white person does it or does it in that style, the black version of it is not accepted, even though the black version is what is the original fucking version. Yeah. Right? So and it's absolutely fucking stupid. It's absolutely ridiculous. Right? So if you are a white person who wants to listen to good new hip hop and fucking rap, check out Young Gravy. Check out BB No Money, even though I think BB No Money is actually black. Even the fucking Gorillas, even like De La Soul, man, like they have to, Tribe Called Quest have to take that fucking edge off for it to be accepted commercially, even though that shit is better. The fucking people who didn't do that is fucking what the fuck is the name of the dude who fucking died recently? Can't even fucking remember his name because I'm a fucking idiot and I've been drinking 5 liters of fucking Oktoberfest for the last, like, what time is it? Fucking, it's been like almost 4 hours now. Yeah. At any rate, Young Gravy, BB No Money, fucking, it's good shit. So that's what Jack listens to. We've been listening to a lot of that, but ultimately, I'm the person who, like, when we get into the car, just put on your fucking playlist. I don't even fucking care. Doesn't even matter. So when we were coming down to the house tonight, I was like, oh, listen, dude, like, I got to listen to this piece of shit album before we get down there at least one more time. Yeah. Like, and then you can put your jams on, because I don't care. But like I said, like, the skipper used to put on what he would put on, and like that was it. There was no. Yeah. And to an extent, I respect that. You know what I mean? Because like, it really did kind of open up my mind to things that I wouldn't necessarily listen to. You know what I mean? Sam Cooke being one of those artists who, like, he made sure I was listening to. Willie Nelson, Stardust. We talked about that, where that was the thing. He would play that. He would play that album all over and over again, and it was great. So I had to listen to this, and we're playing it, and at one point I just heard Jack go, "Fuck." I'm like, "Yeah, I know, man. I know." He's like, no, it's not the album. I'm like, "It's the album, dude. I know. It's almost done. It's almost done." This album is just not good, and I want to like it. I want to like other Bright Eyes stuff, and I just can't fucking do it. I just can't do it. So, as you were saying, the Regina factor.
Yes.
So, the things we talked about on the Regina factor that kind of like things, right? So, one of the determining factors of the Regina factor was, is she singing to the album? Mm-hmm. There are a couple songs that she sings on this album. Okay. There are many more songs that, as we were listening to it, she starts yelling like, "Wah!" Yeah. Ah! Like, she can't talk. She doesn't, besides like, "Hey, daddy," she doesn't really have like many words to say. Yeah. But she would just be like, "What the fuck is," like seriously, like, I would hear her screaming, and in my mind, I'm hearing her saying like, "What the fuck is this bullshit that you're fucking playing for me right now?" But there were also songs that she sang the melody. The melody was beautiful. The melody worked, and she went along with it. that is why this is the hardest album for me to put for the Regina factor.
Okay.
The indifferent ones are easy, like the Joshua Tree. I always go back to the Joshua Tree because it really is the easiest indifferent factor for the Regina factor, because literally I watched her
go
just
all
all right, let me get more comfortable to fall asleep to this piece of shit album. That in her opinion is a piece of shit album. I loved it. I love Joshua Tree.
Yeah.
But like
you do.
Yes, I do.
Makes fun of us.
But she didn't cry.
Yeah.
And she didn't get upset. She
Yeah.
just listened to it. Bob Dylan, until, like I said, and it was the last song on the 12-minute fucking song.
Yeah, so the 12-minute fucking song.
Where she was finally like, dude, are you seriously still playing this fucking shit for me? But up until that point, it was just kind of like, all right, there's music on. I'm fine. Which is kind of how I feel about Blonde on Blonde. It's just kind of like, all right, well, after you get past LP1, it's just kind of there's music on. Yeah. So again, that was a solid indifferent, because it was just kind of like whatever. This is an album where, so I'm going to let you determine the Regina factor on this.
Okay.
There were 2 songs that she sang on.
Okay.
There were multiple songs where she yelled out, like, what the fuck are you doing to me right now?
Okay.
It's definitely not an indifferent. I just don't know if I can put it as a like or a dislike. I will say there were more songs where she yelled out, like, what the fuck are you listening to? Than she sang.
Then if that's the case, I would say dislike.
Yes, so that's kind of how I was, that's how I was leaning.
Yeah.
That is how I was leaning. And so I think we will put this Digital Ash for Digital Urn at a dislike for Regina, which means that you now have 7 likes and 2 dislikes to my 7 likes and 2 dislikes.
There you go.
And we have 6 indifference.
There you go.
So I think that is definitely the Regina factor there. But again, I really was kind of like torn on it. Like what does she like? What does she? And it's I don't want to get into it. Well, actually, we're getting into it. So the Regina factor, 2 of those songs were the songs that she was singing on, right? And they're the 2 songs that I find palatable. So I'll give my 3 songs first, which I don't usually do. I usually defer to you, but I will give my 3. So I'll give my number 2 and my number 3 first.
Okay.
And those are the songs that Regina was.
These are your palatable.
These are the palatable.
Okay.
And these are the songs that were that Regina was singing on. And I can't read my writing. Goldmine
Gutted.
Goldmine Gutted. Thank you. And Arc of Time.
Okay.
Which are 2 early songs. I think they are the second and third tracks.
2 and 3, I think.
Yes, 2 and 3. Which I will say, both times I played those songs, she sang. She sang on both of those songs. Now, when I say my daughter sang, like the child matches pitches.
She 9-month-old sang.
She's 9-month-old sang. Yes, absolutely matches pitches. It's funny. There was something that we were watching earlier today. I was watching with Katie and Regina was there, and Regina, as she hears stuff over and over again, she will anticipate the song.
Yeah.
And I only because Katie doesn't have a musical background, I don't think she realizes that Regina does this. But I'd say, I'm like, you realize she's anticipating the song. Like, she actually knows this song. She knows this melody. And she's anticipating. She's changing pitches to the song before the song gets there.
Yeah.
And Katie's like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, well, just listen. And she did something. I'm like, and then the song did it. And I think Katie did hear it to an extent. But that is the amazing thing about babies. And I think babies in general can do this. I will tell you, if you have babies, if you are thinking of having babies, I will also say, if you are thinking of not having babies, then don't have babies. That's okay too.
Don't have babies.
I see a lot of people are like, I don't want kids. fucking good for you.
Yeah,
don't have kids. I 100% support you in not having kids. I really do. Because there's some people who I see, but like, well, I would never have a kid because blah, blah, blah. And I want to have free time and I want to go on vacations for me. And I want to try. You know what?
Do all this shit.
Yes, please do that. Good for you. Don't have a fucking kid.
Yeah, I'm jealous that you get to do this shit.
No, I'm really not. I'm really not.
No,
the reason I'm not jealous is because I have now 4 kids, and I had my 4th kid in my like upper 40s, like. But I wouldn't change that for the world. So that's the thing. If you want to have kids, don't feel guilty about having kids.
Yeah,
fucking
fuck that.
have kids.
Do what you fucking do. Live
if you don't want to have kids, don't fucking have kids, and don't feel guilty about doing all the things that you want to do because you don't have kids. So that's the way I look at it. But yes. So Goldmine Got It and Arc of Time she fucking sang on, and she fucking changes pitches on stuff like that. Now, the number 1 song, and I will tell you, this is the absolute best song on this album, and I truly fucking love this song.
Okay.
Which I will say this brings this album a step up from that fucking Say Anything album, because like I had songs I was like, all right, I have 2 likes, and a million dislikes. Light Pollution.
That's your number 1?
That's my number 1. That's a great song.
Interesting.
That is a great song. Number 1, it's only like fucking it's only like 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a fucking great song.
Yeah.
Great fucking song.
That's very interesting.
It doesn't veer off into any weird shit. Mm-hmm. Does have a little bit of electronical shit behind it, but like the whole album does.
Yeah.
No, it's great. It's a great song. Yeah. I honestly, and it took me a few listens. And especially since that is very deep into the album. That's like track 8 or 9. Yes. Yeah. That
8 or 9 of 12. Yeah.
Yeah. That is a deep track. But that song, all in all, as far as the album goes, Light Pollution, flat out, no doubts about it. No, like I'm just saying this to say, hey, I'm gonna appease. I need a top 3. No, that is not a palatable song. That is a good fucking song, Light Pollution. So there you go.
My top 3. Number 1, my favorite Bright Eyes song, Light Pollution.
Ah, there you go. There you go. Now, is that also with your favorite lyric?
No.
Okay, but it's your favorite song.
But it's my favorite song.
All right, cool.
Light Pollution is my favorite song. My number 2, number 3 are kind of hit or miss. Like whichever, toss them up. It doesn't matter. Take It Easy, Love Nothing, which has my favorite lyric in it.
Okay.
Which is kind of when you think about it, it's kind of a fucked up lyric. But it's kind of the way that I like to live my life is I'm going to do as I please and I lie through my teeth. No one will get hurt. Someone might get hurt, but it won't be me.
Okay.
That's my favorite
it's not lyric. Lyric.
That's my favorite lyric on this album.
Maybe there's something else in that song that turned me so off that I stopped listening. Because that is the problem with this album for me. Is that there are elements of I will say this. There are elements of all of the songs that I don't dislike. But then there's something the song does that I'm like, oh, fuck this shit. So I turn off to the whole song.
Yeah.
It really is. With the exception of Light Pollution. Even in those other 2 songs, there's elements of those songs where I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know about that. But Light Pollution, fucking straightforward, 3-minute and 30-second song that I'm like, no, this is a good song.
Yeah. So Light Pollution number 1, Take It Easy, Love Nothing is number 2 and or number 3 depending on the day. Number 2 and or 3 depending on the day, Easy Lucky Free.
The last song on the album? Mm-hmm. I fucking hate that song.
Nah, I figured you would.
I fucking hate that song. It's just not good. No. And it's just it just doesn't do anything for it. Doesn't move me. It doesn't like I want to connect to a song and I don't connect to that song. And I wanted to. I really did. So, I really like Bright Eyes shit.
So like I will say, so if this was another one where it was like, what do I want to do is what I want is my top 3. Easy Lucky Free and Gold Mine Gutted were
Gold Mine Gutted. It's a decent song.
They were kind of neck and neck.
Yes.
I also you mentioned Arc of Time.
Mm-hmm.
Arc of Time is also in that running.
So Arc of Time, I think the reason
musically I love Arc of Time.
Yeah, like I think the thing
yeah.
I think the thing that kind of, like I said, Arc of Time I find palatable.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing that pulls me back on Arc of Time is that it is so actually close to the fucking intro.
Well, in all fairness, it is called Arc of Time (parentheses time code).
No, I know, and
yes.
yeah, and that like whole first track, the time code track, I just don't dig it.
I get that. I don't like it either.
But again,
when I on my way here tonight, I listened to this album.
Okay.
Because I knew I could listen to this whole album and not Blonde on Blonde on the way up.
Yeah.
I skipped over time code.
Okay, which is fair enough. I when I listen to these albums, especially when it becomes your albums. Now, when it's my albums, because I'm much more familiar with them, and there's a couple of your albums that I'm actually pretty familiar with too, like on your 25. But like when it comes to these like some of these like the albums that they're mine, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna skip over the songs. So I already know it. So like I really do like I am so fucking torn on this Bright Eye stuff, because I really do want to like it. I want to love it because I like
you, like you said, you like Wide Awake.
It blows my mind that I could like Wide Awake It's Morning so much,
dislike everything else,
and dislike everything else so much. Yes, it is so. I want to like it.
I feel like
I don't.
I feel like if you like Wide Awake It's Morning, you might be more interested towards like you might lean more towards like Casadega.
I swear to God, I was thinking of Casadega. I don't like Casadega.
No?
I've listened to it, man. I've listened to it. I just can't get into it, man.
Casadega has that more like singer-songwriter acoustic.
Maybe I have to go back and
vibe.
like. And here's the thing. Here's the ultimate. I think in my mind, the thing with Bright Eyes is that because of that, because of I'm Wide Awake It's Morning, because it's such a fucking amazing album that like I probably will go back and listen to Casadega.
Yeah.
And I probably will go back and listen to other albums by Bright Eyes, but I really just I'm really torn by this because I really just don't like them. I want to like them, and I just fucking don't. Yeah. I just don't like them. So what is your least favorite song on this album, if you have one?
I do.
Okay.
And my least favorite song on this album is it's my least favorite song on this album because the first time I listened to this, once you told me you pulled Digital Ash, I listened to the album and I listened all the way through and I went, oh, I forgot this song was on this album. So it makes it my least favorite.
Okay.
Theme to Pinata.
Okay. No, okay. So I definitely, yes, I see that. It's a weird song. It is a weird song.
And I feel like of the songs on the album, everything is very, I feel like there's more metaphor involved and it's more like, oh, what does he mean by that?
I think that the title of the album came after the song.
Yeah.
Because it does have a as you hate the Mexican people, it does have a Mexican feel for it, which is why theme for Piata.
That's the thing. Like, musically, it doesn't seem to fit.
It doesn't. So here's the thing, though. That's not my least favorite. So my
I'm very curious.
My least favorite is everything else, but especially Devil in the Details. And one of the reasons,
definitely, I would say very close, but my honorable mention for least favorite,
dishonorable mention
for least favorite was I Believe in Symmetry, which is track 7, and Devil in the Details is track 8.
Yeah, I don't hate I believe in symmetry. I believe in symmetry. It's like,
Yeah.
Like, I know you a lot of times will take a forgettable song and make that your least favorite, which in some albums I think that makes sense. A forgettable song for me is not necessarily my least favorite because I don't have a reaction to it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's just like, whatever, I don't care.
Yeah.
Which honestly, even though like I list least favorable songs, my kind of definition of art is, what do I have a reaction to?
Yeah.
Right. So like I remember my landlord's niece painted this picture, right? And I honestly don't fully remember what the picture was, but I had a physical reaction to the picture. I hated that picture, but I loved it because I had a physical reaction to that picture. That picture, even though I hated it, was one of my most favorite artistic pieces. Yeah. Because I had that physical reaction to it. Yeah. Right? So the songs that I don't have a physical reaction to don't necessarily become my least favorite songs because I just don't care. Yeah. The fact that something is actually my least favorite song, I think, is actually a compliment to the song, like a backhanded compliment. Like, I hate this song, but I have a reaction to this song.
It's like I have this reaction, but I'm going to talk about this reaction.
It's a negative reaction, but I have a reaction. So in a way, like my least favorite songs are artistically.
No, I understand that completely.
Very, very, you know what I mean? Very like highly regarded because because I actually have a reaction to them. So my least favorite song on this is "Devil in the Details" because there is that background fucking electronic bullshit.
That's what is it? "Devil in the Details" has the baby crying.
No, that's the next one.
Is it the next one?
Which does annoy me, but it is the next one.
I say because I can't fucking stand that.
I can't stand that either. But what "Devil in the Details" does have is some sort of like background digital sound that it sounds like my diabetes monitor. So every single time, so what happens is, so you know, as we've talked about, I have diabetes. I have a monitor that goes in my arm, and if my blood sugar goes high or low, I get this fucking beep, like beep 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 beep.
You get a chime,
like you're fucking dying one way or the other. Either your blood sugar's too high or it's too low. So there is a beep in like several times in "Devil in the Details," where every time I've been listening to it, I'm like, "Fuck, where's my phone? Where's my levels?" I'm like, "Oh fuck, I'm fine." This is fucking.
It's funny you mention it. There was a song, I cannot remember what song it is. But there was a song that used to play constantly on 104.5, which is the local alternative rock station in Philly. There was a song that would play constantly. There's a noise in the background of this song that is the shutter of an iPhone camera.
Okay.
So constantly, whenever this song would play, I would constantly be checking my phone to make sure that it's not my phone taking pictures.
Right, exactly.
And I can't understand how that bugs the fuck out of you.
Yep. So that is why "Devil's in the Detail" is my my least favorite song, because it reminds me of the motherfucking my diabetes Libre 3.
Diabetes.
You know, on my phone. Beep 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 beep. I'm like, what the fuck? So yeah, so that is why. But you know, like I said,
I understand.
Ultimately, I would rather have a song. Like, I would rather have my least favorite song than no song at all. Yeah. You know what I mean? I would rather have a song like that I have a reaction to than a song that I have no reaction to. So, Discogs value, there's nothing really special about your pressing other than it's a 2005 pressing. Yeah.
This is actually one of the, I've talked about it before. Zach, when he was in college, had a roommate who had a turntable, so he bought a bunch of records. All right. And when he moved back, I inherited a bunch of albums, both on Wide Awake It's Morning and Digital Ashton and Digital Urn. I inherited from Zach.
I think it's cool. I actually like the cover. I like the packaging.
Yeah.
It has a cool lyric sheet in it.
Mm-hmm.
The label on the LP is pretty cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like it looks good. Looks
Yeah.
good. Looks great. But like I said, you have a 2005 pressing of it. What year did this album come out?
2005.
Okay, so it's probably an original pressing, which is good. You know what I mean? Which is cool. I think this has been repressed. Like that was the thing with my.
You had a remastered version.
A special remaster version that was specifically remastered by someone who had
who's
highly regarded as, you know, you don't have that. You probably have like an original pressing of it, which is cool too. So the Very Good Plus MSRP on this is $19.26, bringing it up to $20, which is
honestly probably right around where Zach paid for it originally.
It's pretty respectable.
Yeah,
you know. So that brings your running total to $567, and my running total is still, since you had 2 records in a row, at $513. So that puts you up at $54. Now I will say there is probably some stuff in my collection that might overtake that, might not overtake that.
Well, we shall see.
We shall see. So what's kind of cool is that we are once again on even ground. So we are 10 records apiece into. Are we? Oh wait, no. I'm sorry. We are. I have 12. You have 12.
Now
we are. So now, granted, we are on episode 27, but we have a pilot episode and we have 2 emergency episodes in there. So we are officially at the halfway point of our podcast here. 25 records for you, 25 records for me. We are actually at 12 each. All right, so this is kind of the tipping point. So that's 24. So we are at the official halfway point. You're going to pull this, just so you know.
Oh, I am,
because I pulled the last couple ones. So if you have things, now we are already planning season 2. And with season 2, right now the plan is to have 15 records, not 25, 15 records from Adam's collection, 15 records from my collection, and then 15 records from our listeners. We want to know what you guys out there,
the viewers at home.
Yes, the viewers and the listeners at home. Tom, yes. We want to know what records you want us to review. It doesn't matter if they're in our collection or not. Right now, we've had 3 people who have told us what they want us to listen to. So we have 3 records already set up for season 2 from listener reviews. Please drop in the comments. Send us an email at info@OttsvilleRecordGarage.com and say, hey, Country Hipster Podcast, I want you to talk about this record. Do something to let us know what records you want us to listen to. Right now, we have 3. If we don't get a full 15 from our listeners, we will then supplement the rest with our fucking personal collections. So, but please, we want you involved.
Yeah, we want to listen to what you're listening to.
Yes.
So, and not the other way around. So I just wanted to make sure that it was very clear.
We have put the envelopes back.
These are the rest of the envelopes. They're in the box of Mike.
I'm going to mix them up.
Paul's going to mix them up.
So the last episode, yes, we did. We only put one thing in there for the exact reason because, you know, we
It's a little hard with our format to do a double episode without having to.
Can I tell you, this is one of like my favorite parts of the episode is the fact, like our format in general. This is one of my favorite parts is that we don't know what's going to be next.
Yes.
We really don't. And even picking this episode, we didn't know what was going to be next. Oh, what number is that?
I have number 34.
34. Rip it open on the side. Why do you fucking do that?
Because it's easier.
Oh, that looks pink.
It is pink.
That could be mine, but it could be Adam's.
Ooh,
what do we got?
Oh, Paul.
Oh, what do we got?
I'm gonna have to. We're gonna have to talk to somebody else about this.
Oh, are we? Do we have a booze and vinyl?
No. More important than a booze and vinyl.
What?
We have a crossover.
We have a crossover! I know what this is! Yes!
This is the Commitment.
Yes!
The original soundtrack.
Yes!
Crossover, what is it?
It's...
You just wrote crossover with Summer Movie Club. So this is the Commitment original. What is the Commitment? The name of the movie as well?
The Commitments is the name of the movie. This is a movie soundtrack. So this is the Commitments original fucking soundtrack. Where is it? I'm gonna bring it out.
Find it.
Where is it? Fuck, I'm a little drunk.
Give me digital ash.
Give me your digital ash. Put it in your used. All right, so this is the Commitments original fucking soundtrack. This is great. So this is going to be a crossover with Summer Movie Club. So we have to schedule this with our brother Adam. You are my brother Adam.
Yes.
Our brother Zach, who hopefully will not fall asleep despite his pending alcoholism. This is a music on vinyl, 180 gram. Actually, I don't know if that's 180 gram.
It feels it.
It is 180 gram audio vinyl.
It's got
audiophile vinyl. This is a repressing. This is a import from the Netherlands. So I might hopefully get some value on this, although it's still the Commitments. All right, so here's what we're going to do. So I will tell you that our next episode, episode 28, is going to be a long episode. The reason being is that not only are we, and I will say that I purposely picked this album for this reason. Not only are we going to do a record review, but we are going to do a crossover with Summer Movie Club, which, by the way, what the fuck is Summer? Have you guys done anything lately?
We've been on kind of a hiatus. Every time we go to record, something else comes up, and a bunch of bullshit. And the movie we currently are planning to discuss is Knives Out. If you've ever seen it,
I've heard of it. Who's in that?
Everybody. Ana de Armas, Captain America, Chris Evans is in it. Sigourney Weaver is in it.
Okay.
I'm sorry, not Sigourney Weaver. Jamie Lee Curtis. They're the same fucking person in my mind.
I like Jamie Lee Curtis.
It's kind of a. There's actually almost like an anthology of it at this point. There's a Knives Out was the original.
Yes.
Was the original movie, and then Glass Onion was a thing that Netflix put out.
Okay.
So we've been meaning to put that out, and we just schedules have been very shitty with Zach and I.
So here's what I'm gonna say. All right. So we at the Country Hipster Podcast keep things moving forward.
Yes.
Right. So we are going to reach out to Zach, and if it works out, we will do a double. I'm not waking. Ultimately, because we're filming this tonight, we kind of have 2 weeks.
We have a little 2-week buffer, so Zach and I could actually catch up, and then
yes. So I'm not waiting for Zach though. Mm-hmm. So worst case scenario, you and I will do a Summer Movie Club.
Okay. Yeah.
Which you can post on. My hope is that for this episode, what we will do is we will record a Country Hipster Podcast / Summer Movie Club episode, and we will put this out. But this is one of mine. I'm very excited to be back in it, not letting you get the hat trick. Yeah. This is the Commitments. Let me see this bad boy right here. The Commitments original motion picture soundtrack. Man, there's so much good music in this. And honestly, I went on that fucking rant about white people not realizing black music until white people do it. And this is the fucking. This is the soundtrack. This is the album that I was talking about. Oh, actually, I want to show you something here.
I like that right there.
Yes. I think so. So a lot of this music on vinyl, especially the music on vinyl in the movies, comes on in its own plastic sleeve. But I think I haven't looked at this in a while. I'm not looking at it again. I think this is on colored vinyl.
Is it?
It is not. Yeah. It is not. It is black vinyl. I am wrong. For some reason, I thought this might have been on silver vinyl, which would have been pretty fucking awesome. Dude, I fucking love this movie. I lived this movie. This is so.
I'm very excited because like you've talked about since the beginning of the podcast doing this crossover, and I've never fucking heard of this.
I honestly one of the things that makes me so excited about this is the fact that it is going to be a crossover.
Yeah.
Because honestly, my first foray into podcasting was on the High Fidelity episode.
Yeah.
Which
Jack Black does star
Jack
in.
Black does star in. High Fidelity. He is not in the Commitments. Yeah. I also have some personal connections with this through Irish music, and even like honestly, Andrew Strong. I kind of know Andrew Strong. Like, I don't mean to be a dick, but I kind of know Andrew Strong, and that's the singer of the Commitments, and that's kind of fucking cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many good fucking things about this.
When we first started this podcast, Paul was like, "Oh, I could probably get this person on.
Yes.
I could probably get this person on." I'm like, "How the fuck are you connected to these people?"
I don't think I can get Andrew Strong on this, but
it's impressive.
You know, it's still cool.
I know Paul, and I know Katai.
Yes.
And that's about it.
Yeah.
Paul's like, "Oh, maybe this guy, maybe this guy."
We'll see what happens. No, this is great. I am so excited about this. I will just say that Try a Little Tenderness, the Commitments version of Try a Little Tenderness, man. It's fucking balls to
I'm
the
excited
fucking wall.
because
And then like the other great thing is that like one of like the guitarist, one of the guitarists of the Commitments is now like an amazing indie rock and folk rock singer. Like there's just oh god, I can't. This is going to be a good episode. I am so excited about this.
I'm definitely excited.
I am so excited to listen to this album for the next like fucking week or 2 weeks now at this point. This is good. This is good. I'm excited.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yes. All right. So with that in mind, let's put this up here. So here's what's gonna happen. We've been doing this for a few hours now, and Adam needs to smoke. I need to smoke. I need to pee. Dude, I think you're sleeping over.
Probably.
What's that?
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're gonna drink some more. We left out the shots glasses for the skipper. Let's hear it for the skipper. Oh, you don't even have a fucking beer.
You take a sip.
All right, I'll take a sip for the skipper.
And then,
And then you. We're going to drink some more. I have some shows tomorrow. Dude, I have a fucking festival tomorrow.
Do you have shows tomorrow? That's right, you do.
I have shows all weekend.
No.
But we're going to keep drinking. We're going to empty this tonight. You're not going home, so tell Katai you're not coming over.
That's fine.
We're going to do this. What time is it?
Like,
it's late.
Like one.
I might still want to start a fire tonight, so we're gonna see how it goes.
Keep in mind, it is currently 12:40 at night.
Yes,
so.
It is 12:40 Saturday morning, but I still might want to start a fire.
That's fine.
I think I need this. It's my healing time.
Yeah.
So, but with that being said, it is time to. Move on!